Welcome to episode 445 for Jawn. I'm Gail Saunders here with Evan Hollywood Earn and Primo and Tim in the building. You might be, if you're listening to the show, you might, who is this new character on the show? Now
Louis Armstrong.
That is me, Gail. I lost my voice, man. When I talk about you could only do so many chants in 3 weeks. I'm up to about 500,000. But just talk about the level and intensity of fandomhood I saw in New Orleans. There were so many people that I knew. It seemed like a family reunion. The fact that we got to see all our homies all in the same spot at the same time, with the same mindset, right? You know, Sirianni talks about this growth mindset, but this growth mindset with the Eagle fans showing up with a purpose. I'm just gonna give shout to the Eagle fans at first here because they showed up, and we all talk about a place to play in that is tough. That is the New Orleans Saints Superdome. Their fans loud as shit. The stadium loud as hell. 128 decibels. We got to see it firsthand. But what we did get to see firsthand was this team will of victory, right? But we also got to see the fans flip a stadium. Saquon Barkley's run, the Dallas Goedert catch, it took the air out of that stadium, and you saw the fans chanting in unison, defense, in the look on the faces of Saints fans to look at us and be like, where the hell do you guys come from? And you guys won't stop. You can look from videos during the game or videos of Prime after the game. Eagle fans were giving it to Saints fans like I've never seen. I was more proud to be an Eagle fan after that game than anything. But just this Eagles team going through adversity, 1 minute and 57 seconds to go in the game. Jalen having an up and down game. Down 4 starters. Lane Johnson, we know the record, what it's like without Lane Johnson. A.J. Brown is not playing. Devontae Smith gets injured. We have Saquon Barkley and Dallas Goedert playing out of their mind. The defense playing out of their mind. It took a village. It took Reed Blankenship to seal the deal. It took Johnny Wilson to get a first down when he got in there. It took Britton Covey, who broke his as a crack in his shoulder, to get a first down to move the chains. That play with Dallas Goedert, 3rd and 16. There is no ounce of giving up with this football team, and no ounce of giving up with these Eagle fans. Anybody will tell you in the airport that they couldn't be more happier than see us go home, or the people on Bourbon Street. But I'll tell you one thing, Eagle fans did spend a lot of money in that city. They supported the city, and overall, it's just a very proud moment. I'm very ecstatic, and I'm more blessed to have the opportunity to hang out with you guys, and all of us were there assembled as a crew. It was just a great opportunity to just enjoy the birds.
I don't know about you guys, but the stand-in that Gail got tonight is awesome. Like, he absolutely just he's absolutely right. Dude, the game was the entire weekend in itself was an amazing time. But like, let's just start off with the game. The game, it was a classic Eagles game. It was a bang in your head against the wall. What are we doing? But ultimately, we came out and we won in spite of the coaching, which has been exactly what's been going on the past couple of years. But the talent on this team prevailed. Guys like Saquon Barkley, who just take over a game and will a team to victory. Guys like Dallas Goedert, who finally has a career game that we all know that he's capable of. It was an awesome game in how it all played out. Very frustrating at times. And I mean, we could talk. We're definitely going to talk about decisions that were made in this game. Obviously, Sirianni 2 times, just leaving points on the table. This game could be a lot less stressful. But ultimately, we won because of the talent we have on this team, the elite talent that we have. that is able to will us to victory, man. I'm hyped. I'm glad that I still have my voice a little bit. I thought I did so many EAGLESs on the way out the door. I would get the E out and I couldn't hear anything else for the rest of the chant. But I'm back now, and dude, it was an amazing time.
We want to update on your luggage though.
The luggage has been located. Is being sent to my house tomorrow. Your boy has to invest in a new bag. This is the second time. The sticker they put on at TSA, it doesn't stick to my bag. It's just I got to get a new bag. But I digress. The game was awesome. I'm getting my clothes back. We're living.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it was definitely one of the top 5 trips that we took. It was a great time. From the beginning to the end, man. It was great. The one thing that I definitely have to address was just having the opportunity to actually watch the game with Evan, bro. Like, yeah, we've been watching so many games together. But like I finally had the opportunity to have little bro with me, and he got to see me. He got to see how I acted. You know what I mean? I didn't hold back. I didn't hold back from any of these Saints fans. We had one to the right of us that had his moments 85% of that game, because we couldn't do shit. And I mean, they had these walls behind us that were banging, and he was enjoying that. But man, when I had that moment, oh, I was hurting. My hand was hurting because I was slamming the shit out of that thing, and letting him know. And Evan got to witness it all, from the whole game into the stadium, outside of the stadium. I didn't hold back on none of those Saints fans. It was great, man. It was a great moment. But yeah, man, the game, it was definitely a nail biter, frustrating. Decisions we need some better decisions. I mean, something we're going to definitely get into. But, look, like most people say, a win is a win. And that's what we got. These boys fought. They stuck it out. This time, to our advantage, that we had enough time on that clock and they came up with a game plan. Yeah, we got the third and 16, but that play to Goddard, man, I don't forget where he got it. He got the 60-something yards, got to the 4-yard line, and I even had to hold Evan from giving me a 5 and a hug. Like, wait a minute, it ain't over yet. We hold on until that mother sucker's in that end zone. I ain't celebrating. And Saquon did his thing, got the touchdown, got the 2-point conversion, and bro, it was just like the rest was history, man. We needed that W, especially in that stadium. Like you said in the very beginning, loud ass stadium. But bro, I'm confident to tell y'all, being there live, I think we took over that place. The amount of green in there, the amount of voices you hear, especially when we were chanting defense. I had mad people hitting me up saying they could clearly hear us on TV. They didn't even understand. They didn't even understand how that was a Saints game. It's crazy.
Yo, I'm before I start, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I lost my voice as well, so I'm still trying to give it. I got emotional during the game, because I'm sitting there with my daughter, my wife, and yo, the moments. Okay, the first half, I was just like, all right, come on, son, like, don't do this to us, please don't do this to us. And then once the halftime, and then the second half rolled in, I'm looking at it, I'm like, the Eagles had 330 something yards of offense, and we had 0 points. I'm just dumbfounded. I am dumbfounded. And then to see Lane go out, Becton was on the sideline. Tyler Steen stepped up. Fred Johnson, shout out to those two guys. They stepped up and they held their ground, put the anchors in the grass, and was ready for the moment. So shout out to those guys. But what I seen from this team is a grit, and they fighting for each other. That's what I seen from this one. And when I tell you, when I got emotional, bro, and I really got emotional, right? It was when my daughter and I, she's like, why are we not scoring any points, Dad? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta break it down to my daughter. You know,
it's that damned Sirianni.
Yeah, I sound like that. That damn Sirianni. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's funny, man, because I was watching Gail. I was watching a video of you. It was a throwback of you. I think he was talking to this young gentleman about how you became an Eagles fan because of your pops. And it was handed down to you, just like it was handed down to all four of us. And now I'm getting a chance to do that with my daughter and hand down the Eagles, the spirit of it to her. And she goes, Dad, we're going to score right now. I said, who's going to score? She's like, we are. And she goes, you know the guy that came to us from the blue team from New York that we don't like? I said, oh, Saquon. She's like, yeah, he's going to score. I said, okay, baby. So she goes, watch. She pricks up. We went to the Mardi Gras. Parade, little warehouse museum, and they have the baby cakes. It's a traditional in New Orleans. It's a baby. You eat a cake and it comes in. That's good luck. She had one. It's in her cake.
Had the baby?
She had it. She had the baby. I kid you not, bro. The next freaking play, he ran for like 60 yards. I was just grabbing her. I probably look like King Kong on top of a building. My big black ass holding my daughter like, let's go. My daughter's probably getting red like a red dog. Like, bro, I literally was just. It was just amazing, bro. It was amazing. And then the Dallas Goedert throw, and then his slow ass was, I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to juke them out. Unleash the wagon, son. Unleash the wagon. It was crazy. Like, and yo, shout out to all the Eagle fans, man. We took over that shit, man. Yo, it was just. It's an out of body experience when you see something and it was just sea of green.
Can I also just add in there too? I mean, little plug for Philly Sports Trips. One amazing addition I loved on this trip is seeing the faces of the Saints fans in the parking lot as we were walking into the stadium, because we didn't walk in any normal fashion. We had an entire marching band in front of us, and we just all, like 280 of us, marched into the stadium all as one. And just to see the faces of these people, and we were sitting there, dude, on both sides, giving it back and forth, talking shit. We're gonna win. No, you're not. And we were all, I know, on both sides sitting there thinking, man, I hope I'm right on the other side of this 3 hours, because it's going to be a slugfest.
The fact that the Eagle fans on the way out, they turned to saying the who dat, we dat. That's the Eagle fans came up with that on the quickness, and then was just who dat, we dat. Who that? And it was like, I mean, it was just like that was like the word of the day after that. Just that moment where you just.
I mean, they're all sitting here. They imagine set the scene. Like, we were literally in their house doing our chant, and then they are trying to, knock that off, just like we would. Just like we would try and drown out the noise, and they do their shit. The who dat.
Ev, check this out though. This I know you guys. We were all there, so we all seen it. But did you feel that they celebrated a little too early?
I just thought
it was like 2 minutes left, though, right?
Well, they were doing some disrespectful stuff, like stuff that you didn't see while like watching the game. If you're in the stadium, they started putting up these like stats of like making fun of Eagle fans, and they put this stat up about throwing snowballs at Santa. Yeah, I was like, you have awakened the beast.
They put come on, son. Like, you gonna put scramble versus a beignet? Get out of here, son. Yeah. Everybody gonna pick the beignet, son. Yeah. Talking about.
So I mean, I just think it was just like there, like we've asked for like. My last 3 words when we talked about describing the team: unserious, undisciplined, uninspired. Like, I saw inspiration. I saw next man up. I saw, guys looking at the guy right next to him and seeing him flourish and like, I'm going to do something big. Like, what you can either you can go all the way to Jawn Dotson and his rub route in the mesh, which took out 3 dudes. That's how you run that route.
That's why it's designed that way.
That's how you run that route. And
You could look at the entire right side of the offensive line. Look at Cam Jurgens, who is in his third game as a starter in his regular position as a center. And then you have Becton go down, and then you have Lane Johnson go down. And like you said, Tim, at the top of the show, to have Steen and Fred Johnson step in there, and Fred Johnson was doing great, man.
Bro,
he was bold.
Yeah,
it was he was wearing that Johnson at right tackle proudly, bro.
But I mean, Evan, how long did it take for us to realize that even Lane Johnson was out? We didn't even realize it.
Yeah,
that's how well.
No,
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, like how long they were having. Jalen Hurts had all day in the pocket for the entire game, and it was his mistakes that he was making. He's sitting there holding on to the ball too long, but he had all day.
He did. He really did. And you know what's crazy is when we all know this, once Lane goes down, it's dum 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 dum. Like we losing. Mm-hmm. Like our record isn't great when Lane is out the damn starting lineup. So I was like, I was a little worried, and then it kept on, like, bodies was dropping. And then I gotta give, I mean, I don't want to jump the segment, but I gotta give props to Jahan Dotson. He ran routes, he was crisp, he was ready for the moment. He didn't always get the ball. Paris Campbell came up very, very crucial in some catches. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I know I'm a little late. I got to get that jersey because I'm the one that said the damn bet the first time, but I'm going to get that. I just had to, what I mean? I had to pay for it. I had to pay to go to New Orleans.
Like things were going so well. We're going so well with those guys that stepped in on the line. Again, going back to Fred Johnson, like not even realizing that Lane was out of that game, because that's how good things were being, that line was holding, giving Jalen the time. And then when we saw, I think Evan was the one that pointed out, like, yo, Lane's not even in there. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then I see it's Fred Johnson. 74. I'm like, damn, he is doing good. And then like maybe about another 3 minutes later, we finally saw on the screen that he was out with a concussion. And I'm like, I don't even see him out on the field. So something was up. So that's that part. Then you got Paris Campbell, like you said, man, came through with a clutch catch. Evan at one point was like, who's number 80? We forgot. I'm like,
wow. I completely forgot Paris Campbell, bro. You don't do
Paris Campbell. Like, oh, shit. Like,
wow.
He's in for the moment. You know what I mean? He's in for the moment. And then it was just like, again, these guys are just coming in clutch. Dotson, those two passes to him before it became 3rd and 16, but those two passes to him were pretty clutch. A slant, a nice slant move that he did twice. Jalen hit him. That's what kind of like helped lead to that big play with Goddard. So it was just like, yo, again, I go back to a couple shows ago when I said I feel like every week with the amount of weapons we got, every week somebody's going to have, it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, we're talking about Saquon that first game. We're talking about Devontae Smith, though we took the L, was doing his thing against Atlanta. And then this week it was back to Saquon and Dallas Goedert. Who's it going to be this upcoming week? So I still stick to that. I still feel like everybody's going to have their part.
I think Saquon's going to get his, bro. I think Saquon's going to get his more days than not. I mean, we're talking about, let's put some respect on number 26's name here. The top rusher in the NFL right now, 5 touchdowns through 3 games, and on pace for, what did Evan predict at the beginning of the year? I hope it stays that way.
Giant fans. I don't know if you've seen I don't know if you see the interview. I think it was the press conference. Giant fans were really upset. Basically, what he said was like, I didn't want to be I don't have to be the highest paid. And like kind of in that lane, like they're like, well, then
what was
why
the
did
issue?
you leave? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They're like, oh, he just wanted to be a Phil. He just wanted to be an Eagle. You damn right.
Yeah, you wanted a chance at winning, man. You wanted a chance at winning.
Oh man, that's funny.
I mean, we're gonna be real here, just to be look at some things that we have to pay attention to. We've talked about the poor game management from Sirianni and his ability with a capital A to kind of make some boneheaded decisions. The 4th and 1 in a situation where like you do a fake tush push to me sends a direct message to your squad saying, when we say tush push last year, tush push meant automatic first down. So that means you got to get cute on fourth and 1. Yeah. Or if you're not going to do the tush push, Saquon cannot get you 1 yard. He's a big back with skills. Like utilize them. There's moments in the game also where it's 1st and 10, goal line, close in the red zone. They do Jalen pulls it. Just give it to Saquon. Or like this part of getting cute and not deciding to kick a field goal when they've had struggles scoring and coming up with good enough plays here. Get the points. Like you're chasing points the whole game, and it just look gun shy at certain points. And we all know there's missing pieces, but like let's not overthink ourselves. The utilization of Dallas Goedert we've been talking about for 2-3 weeks,
years.
He had 9 targets in the first 2 games. He got targeted up and had a career day. We all know he has that in him. We all know we have extra weapons besides A.J. Brown and Devonta. We have weapons here. So, what were your thoughts with the Sirianni's decision?
The decision making honestly was killing me, and Prime can attest to. I mean, like he said, we got to watch a game together, and I was not happy with Sirianni throughout that entire game. And I mean, as we just break it down a little bit further, talking about the fake tush push, like ultimately, what's the goal there? Because you're not going to score on that play. You're far enough away from the end zone that ultimately that running play isn't going to get you to the end zone, and you're still in the same time crunch that you were in anyway. So you're probably going to have to send out the kicking team regardless if you get the first down or not. And so there's just what's the sense in not just taking the points, man? What's the sense of not taking the points? And then you look at it later in the game and you want to bring in that you've been going for it on 4th down all day, but let's throw Jake Elliott out there at 60 yards after he hasn't kicked all game, and that's going to be the one that he hits. Like,
and the field position as well.
Bro, I thought he was hurt.
There's no consistency to what he's doing.
Just think about it. Just think about it. I'm gonna use the baseball analogy here. You're sitting all game. You're coming into the 8th inning to go ahead and pinch hit to go up against 2 outs, 2 guys on base. The moment's on you. You haven't gotten loose. You know what I'm saying? You're just getting loose. You're going up there. Come on. I mean, like, what's the percentage of somebody hitting a home run or scoring those runs? We're talking about 30% compared to 50%. You go 70%. You're gonna bring a kicker that hasn't done shit like Evan just said. You had 3 opportunities to get scored points. You decided not to. And then you want to go ahead and bring him into something that just didn't make no fucking sense. Yeah, regardless, we're in a dome. It just didn't make no sense. You know what I mean? That kick, at least get him loose. You should at least took 1 out of those 3 opportunities and gave him a field goal. So that way, when that opportunity for the 60-yarder came, he would have been loose. You know what I mean? But
do we have a new tomato pie? I mean, a couple years ago we had to do the run the ball tomato pie. Kick the field goal. Kick the field goal.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Kick Eagles kick should be a new shirt.
I don't know.
Yeah, facts. You know what's crazy to me, yo? Nick Sirianni is coaching like he's playing Madden. Like this ain't EA, bro. You a real live coach. Yeah. This is exactly what we keep on saying. We said this last week. And yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I felt like I was watching 2 coaches. Like, I felt like I was watching Dumber and Dumber. Like, you're like, what are you doing? Just kick the ball. You know what's really crazy? I'm gonna tell you something like this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna make everybody laugh here. It got to the point, right? I had 2 Saints fans behind me that loud as shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. They like killed my eardrums. My daughter was getting irritated. I had to switch out my daughter and my wife here and there. I had an older lady over here, and they kept on saying, "Just go for it, coach. Go for it. You ain't gotta." I was, man. We and about 4 or 5 Eagle fans. We go there just like, damn, and they laughing at us. Yeah. This is crazy. Why do every time we get in the 20-yard and goal line situations, why do we get cute? Why we have one of the best running backs in the NFL? I don't understand it.
I want to also thank Sirianni too, because there's been a lot of, and I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to explain, because he put out there, he took ownership of the fact that he said that it was on him, that on that 4th and 1, he decided to do the fake tush push there. So all the people that are of the conversation of, oh, well, what do you mean? It's Kellen Moore that's calling the plays now. Well, he's stepping in and calling the plays at critical moments, and he's making the wrong decision. And this is something that we've talked about since the middle of last year. Right. And it's just frustrating to still see, because it feels like we have the talent to win on this team. And I don't want to be held back by the coaching, which is exactly what it feels like.
And the funny thing is, this Eagles team is 2-1, and you could either argue a drop from Saquon or a boneheaded call by Sirianni last week and points wise. But again, 3-0, and then we still, again, we can say we haven't seen the best of this team, but. Nonetheless, I mean, there's guys that are showing some. We called out the dogs last week. We talked about the dog culture. The dog was in the dog pound, and it led by Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, who we all know is a menace. Showed us what kind of menace he was. Showed us that the domination. And anytime you watch a game with me, sometimes you always hear me say, "Get your hands up." He showed the menace, but he also showed the understanding to get your hands up. How many balls did he tip? Shout out to Jordan Davis, who got his first sack. Talk about the rushing yards that the Saints put up some points. They put up some points the first 2 games. They put up 40 burgers on their first 2 opponents, the Cowboys included, and they only put 12 up against our squad. I mean, the fact that it's like 6.4 yards a carry to 3.1. That is a positive in the right direction. I think at times, Nakobe Dean had a decent day. I mean, my son, Quinyon Mitchell out here. Again, I
keeps getting these opportunities, man.
I went before the game started. I was, because I'm a sicko. That's how I am. Going back to watch videos in my phone from the Senior Bowl of Quinyon Mitchell to see how patient he was in these one-on-one routes, and to see where he is then versus now. He's doing the same thing in those reps that got him drafted in the first round that he is doing in the game. There's no obviously he's gonna give up some, but he stays in phase. He's not shook. He's in the right position in the hip pocket. That is and he's a rookie. Yeah. That is why I said he would be starting. And he's making me proud.
Yeah, he's balling, man.
You sound like a dad with that voice.
That lost his voice, screaming for his son.
That defense played their ass off, man. I mean, we saw it from the very beginning. I was telling Evan, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter look like they're about to have a game, because, I mean, they were just in the hunt the whole time. It was just key. And then CJ was doing his thing. Slay was doing his thing. Everybody stepped up. The linebackers, Braun. Oh my God! I'm wanting to take my foot out my mouth about this dude. My man is killing it right now. Me and Evan are seeing the stats. He's leading the tackles,
leading the league in tackles right now.
It's crazy, man.
100%. Right?
It is you. He is balling right now, man, and it's good to see. Nakobe Dean, bro, stepping up big time.
Shout out to Nakobe Dean's family. We're at a restaurant. We've seen way too many 17s. I was like, there's a lot of 17s in this pack. And then,
not that it's not a jersey worth buying. It is.
But I'm saying, when you start seeing this has got to be family members, because when you see a Cam Jurgens number, we saw his parents, that's got to be Cam Jurgens' parents.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Primo, you want to tell the story how you met the Dean family?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, man, we saw a bunch of 17s walking. At one point, we're sitting there eating, and we're hearing this big crowd on the other side of the wall. You couldn't see what was going on, but they were Eagle fans. I get up, and I'm over there having a chat with E-Rock at the bar, and I see a bunch of 17s just walking up. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to ask, are you guys Nakobe Dean's family? And they were all like, yeah. And then they all turned around, oh, that's his mom. And I was like, where? Yo, this woman turned around. I mean, split image of Kobe Dean. I said, God damn, yeah, I can see it all in your face. You are his mom. So she started laughing. I was like, man, your son played a hell of a game today. A hell of a game. And she was like, thank you. And then I asked her for the opportunity to take a picture, and then me and E-Rod got blessed with a pic. So it was a cool moment to see her. And then the uncle, me and him, we just started chanting as we're walking out at the restaurant. You know what I mean? The lady didn't appreciate it. She was a New Orleans fan. Everybody in there was a New Orleans fan. And yeah, man, she was like, all right, you guys got to go. We were like, all right, we're going to go. We're going to go out with a bang. So he was like, who that? We that? Who that? We that? And then I walked out. You blew that. Like,
yeah. Shout out to Aaron from West Coast Hoop Nation who represented as well on the trip with Philly Sports Trips. Shout out to Michael as well. Nice Avi. I took that shot in Brazil. Beautiful camera. Nice. But you know that was a really cool part. Shout out to Puga as well. If you haven't been listening, Puga is a big friend of the show. Good to see him out there. It was just crazy to see everyone just converge on the same spot of the country.
Yeah.
You just like, shout out to my cousin Kiki and my other cousin Charles. They showed up. Amanda's aunt and uncle showed up. It was the craziest family reunion ever. But it really did feel like the whole community came together for this one.
And what a place to get together too, man. I mean, like, that's a fun city. We've got to go, like Prime said at the beginning, we've got to go on a lot of trips, and that was definitely in the top there. And kind of surprised for a guy that has never been there. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but Bourbon Street, as you're walking down Canal, almost feels like an alley. Like as you're like walking up on it, you don't even realize it's there, and then all of a sudden you get to it, and it's like, it's like Narnia. All of a sudden the door just opens up, and it's a whole other world. But it was a really, really cool spot. Definitely a party town, and we were right in the middle of all of it. And then also, going and checking out the Gators, that type of thing, like that was a cool time.
Yeah,
it was fun. I felt like we were on a National Geographic. I mean, the thing is, like, as you go to these cities and you get these different reference points, like once you start to travel a little bit, just to get a different understanding of the different areas of the country. It's crazy to be like, oh yeah, you live by some gators that can kill you, or like we rolled up
tubing in the river, or just some gators.
I said we
kayaking like nothing.
No,
we rolled up on some raccoons that were trying to kill a baby alligator, and they were like, 4 of them were sitting there like, I'm like, what is this? And they're like, yeah, these are. The guy was like, these aren't your rabies infested city raccoons from up north. These are like hunters, and they were like literally about to kill a baby
We blew
alligator.
up their spot. They had a plan, and we kind of interfered with their plan. You know what I mean? They were singing, they were focusing on that baby alligator, and then all 3 of them came down like, yo, man, y'all gonna leave anytime soon? I'm trying to eat over here. Like, yeah, it was definitely. I mean, I was one in the very beginning that wasn't down for it. I'm like kind of skeptical about it. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do this shit. And then I'm just thinking of a game plan. I'm gonna sit in the middle of the boat, and then Amanda, shout out to Amanda, the trip coordinator, she was like letting us know, like, yeah, Prime, this is what the boat's gonna be like. I'm like, do you see that picture? Do you see how close that alligator is? I'm not doing that shit. And she's like, come on. And I'm like, nah. And then she's showing me all different types of versions of the boats, and I'm like trying to pick which one I want to get in. When we get there, I didn't really have much of a choice. It was one boat, one style boat. So I got in, and I got to tell y'all, by far one of the craziest but funnest things I did. You know what I mean? At one point, yes, I was surrounded by maybe about 8 alligators. So I kind of was like almost shit in the bed on there, like don't know what I'm gonna do here. But it was cool. It was a great time.
Here's I ate some alligator though.
Here's some of the. Here's the raccoons hunting. So if you guys don't believe us,
they're literally like in arm's length from us too.
Yeah. I mean, he literally could have jumped. I'm thinking he was going to jump into the boat. Real talk. Now, if they were up north raccoons, they on the boat. But my man was like, yeah,
these are different pictures.
These guys are different. They're different raccoons down here.
They're like, they eat actual food. They're not eating chips and shit. Or garbage.
They're cool. They're not opening up the garbage door to show you there.
They're not the ones that Primo's. They're not one of Primo's garbage can.
Not one of those. Not one of those.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Did you how was the food?
Amazing. I love the food. I mean everything has that same kind of Creole type seasoning flavor to it. So like I could see if you're living there, like the Cajun could maybe get a little bit old, but as a visitor, it was a nice switch up. You don't really got that up in the Northeast in every spot.
Sure.
So one of the things I want to say about
seasoned.
Everything's seasoned, even to the point where
for sure.
One of my favorite parts about the when we were out eating was when we all went to Deanie's that one night, and instead of the rolls at the table, they come out with potatoes, and so you get like, imagine like how they would bring rolls out at a restaurant. They brought out like boiled potatoes, but they were in a like nice little.
I was tearing them things up.
They were nice.
Not me. I wasn't tearing those up at Deanie's. They taste like pine sol.
Bro, those
they were delicious.
What are you talking about?
Nope.
I had a whole plate to myself.
I had like 3 of them. They were awesome.
Everything that I ate was good. Shrimp po' boy.
Oh,
I had etouffee, which Resident Hater was Pete Nathan was trying to push me to eat. That was great. The gumbo, jambalaya. Oh, I didn't get in any crawfish because it was out of season.
Yes, out of season. Yeah,
I was very
crab
tight.
cakes. I had crab cakes, and it had crawfish in it. On the top of it. I guess that's like a South dish. But the gumbo and the jambalaya, man, it was good. And then I had a couple of beignets with chocolate, with the powder and then chocolate on it. It was good.
Oh, was that the Cafe Demond ones?
Yeah. The one on Canal, not on the other one.
There you go.
My menu was simple. I had 2 burgers on the trips, and then I went across the street and I ate at Popeyes.
I was like, yeah.
It came all the way down south to eat.
I could say
I ate seafood, bro.
I could say that I ate at an actual Louisiana Popeyes. I was okay with that. And I tell you what, I tore that shit up. I tore that shit up.
You didn't have no Willie's chicken? Willie's chickens is good, but
the Willie's chicken was good. Yo, they were charging $10 for a pizza slice at Willie's chicken. That's when I went the Primo route that night after we went we had a pep rally and then we went out drinking. I ended up they wanted to get pizza slices. Pizza in Louisiana, first of all. And they're charging $10 a slice.
That's bugging. That's wild.
I saw a couple of people mention the parade, pre-parade before the game. That's something that, obviously anyone can do whatever they want to do. But me and Prime are having that discussion of like, you don't us personally, you don't run a parade before the game starts. Like, I just thought, I was just like, yeah, we're not. Because it got to be like, you're going to this parade? That's what I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You got to win something before you do. Our parade was after the game. We celebrated and we gloated. We did gloat.
Oh yeah.
We ate the food.
I enjoyed the hell out of the parade, and I enjoyed the hell out of the gloating.
Me too. I did both. Sometimes you gotta.
It was an awesome time.
Did you enjoy the shit talking that was going on after that game?
Oh hell yeah!
I got on top of the bench.
You were standing on top of a bench.
I was standing on top of the bench, letting them all know. Oh, yeah. There was like 3 guys dressed up as priests. I was like, Father, come here. I got a confession to make. Come here. Ran up to them.
They saw him and they were so fed up too.
Oh, they were so mad. They were so mad.
I did a little of the march. I did do that. But I went over there and I basically just did the,
there we go.
Sometimes you got to go out and pop out and show. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to go out there and just pop out and show. That was it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Eagle fans really celebrate. I mean, it was just Bourbon Street's cool. You just walk up a bunch, like you could see anything from anything. I saw so much crazy stuff. Shout out to Kiki. Yeah. Everyone had a lot of fun. I saw Kiki have an amazing time at the tailgate.
Had a great time.
What tailgate am I talking about? It's Philly Sports Trips tailgate. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to book a trip, head to phillysportstrips.com. Make sure you follow them at Sports Trips PHL for more information on Twitter. We got some trips coming up. We've got a couple of these games out of the way. So we got the next game is the Birds takeover in Tampa Bay.
Oh.
Me and Brown were getting on a plane on Thursday. There's some guy, I don't know if you never heard of him. His name is Brian Dawkins. he'll be in attendance with us there. The Birds take over in New York. This is a time where you want to gloat that you got Saquon. This is the game to do. The Birds take over in New York. Birds take over in Cincinnati. They're reeling after a loss to the Commanders. That's October 25th and October 25th. Prime, what about the next couple of trips here?
One that I definitely like to check off the book is the one against Dallas. Jeremiah Trotter Sr. will be joining us on that trip. Look, we're only on the second trip of the year, and we're already talking about how much fun we have. And so imagine just taking the opportunity to tag along with us and a lot of other sports fans on these trips. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. After that one, we got the Los Angeles one where you got LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson joining us on that one. So God only knows what that one's going to be like, man, with them two. It's going to definitely be one to go ahead and check out. Then we taking it down south to Baltimore, all right, on the 1st of December. Nice little road trip. So, think about tagging that. And then Washington, man, one of the biggest tailgates that we have every year. So, we definitely take over with the amount of people that show up to that thing. And then anybody and any team usually takes over that toilet bowl of a stadium. So, I mean, don't worry about nothing there.
You can see the rust from a mile away, and that's not like actually just
that's not the colors of the team. That's not actual colors of the team.
No, like that's being legit. Like they need to repaint the stadium. You can see the rust from the highway.
I mean, it's standing up with duct tape. You know what I'm saying? Like duct tape is supporting that damn place. But yeah, shout out to Philly Sports Trip, bro. Had a great time at the party, the meet and greet, the tailgate. So shout out to Philly Sports Trip.
Yeah, good time. My family had a good time.
My mom had a great time. My mom had fun.
on Friday night, we were on a big ass boat. I'd never been in the Mississippi. I mean, we can say now we've been on the Mississippi River.
Yep,
it's cool opportunity. I mean, the weather was. I'll tell you one thing. This, they have Louisiana hot sauce. Not that we're getting paid for this. I'm just saying everything in Louisiana was hot this weekend because it took. Oh, smart guy. I took 4 to 5 showers a day in Louisiana. You walk down the block, I got to take a shower. It was so hot and humid down there. Like California people were like, "Yo, it's hot in Cali, but it's not this humid hot. Like I don't know what this is." But crazy hot.
I was on the same sort of schedule, Gail. I literally this was the first trip. I was saying to Prime as we were in the room together. I was like, "Yo, this is the first time," because you know how when you pack, you always gotta pack the extra underwear, extra socks, all that stuff. I was like, "This is the first time I've ever went on a trip and I actually used every single article of clothing that I brought." I was like, I took like 3 showers a day. It's so hot outside.
That's what you learn, man. You learn. Yeah.
Now, Moria chimes in. She says, I'm glad Saquon is scoring some touchdowns, but should we be worried about the number of TDs Jalen doesn't have? I just think, it's about settling in with him. I think when you lose a guy like A.J. Brown, who's your kind of like security blanket, right? You have to diversify your funds now. Like you have to realize you can make a deposit here. You can make a deposit with Dallas Goedert. Some of these plays, I mean, they're learning the playbook, right? But 6 turnovers in 3 games is 6 turnovers. And that's just factual. Like we've seen Wentzian type fumbles where it doesn't matter who, like obviously we love Hurts.
Fumble, bro.
But we will tell you point blank when it's a Wentzian type fumble, like protect the football, especially when you're going in for scores, like the red zone, like turnovers in the red zone, those are points. And fumbling when you talk about 400 plus yards of offense, and we only had 15 points. But there's a stat out there without A.J. Brown, this offense averages 15 points. And that's kind of, what does this offense average without Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown? That's a different level of, the fact that, Anthony chimes in. He says that we just signed John Ross.
All right.
We're talking about the Paris Campbells of the world. And all this talk about, all you crazy Eagle fans, all you talk about is wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4.
We're going into week 4 now. Yeah. Going into week 4, and this is what we're afraid of.
Where are we at? We talked about backup guards. Where are we at? We have Tyler Steen, our backup guard. Mekhi Becton injured. Again, solid performance by our backups. But I'm just saying, this is where we're at. So
yeah, this is definitely the proof in the pudding on what we were talking about. Anything can happen. And look, we didn't expect what happened to AJ to happen, and it did. We definitely didn't expect that shit to happen to Devontae Smith this past Sunday, and it did. I don't know. I haven't heard no news on it, but most likely he's probably going to be out this week. But again, it's all about the next man up mentality. Something we've been preaching for years. I mean, seriously, not only just the hit, but just like the disrespect. There's a lot more to that video as you see it. I mean, I texted you guys earlier. They actually have a clip on him diving into Devontae's head with no helmet on. Like they caught that. They caught the spit. Of course, that's the other thing. I can't wait till this fine comes out because I really want to see what the NFL is all about, protecting their players. I mean, this is crazy. Right. But more going back to what your statement is like, no, I'm not mad that Saquon is scoring touchdowns and Jalen is not. I mean, like, listen, it's all about just scoring touchdown. It's not an eye game. It's a team game. So, like, it's anybody who's going to score the touchdown for us. That's what I'm all about. So, yeah. I think it's fine. Saquon's doing his thing, and he needs to keep on doing it.
Run, Eagles, run.
To answer the question as well, I mean, like, I agree with what Gail said in the fact that, like, I am much less concerned about the amount of touchdowns that Jalen Hurts has scored versus how much he's turning the ball over. That's the concern to me. I mean, like you said, we're averaging right now 2 turnovers a game. We talk about Sirianni leaving money on the table as far as not kicking field goals. Turning the ball over is doing the same thing, man. And like if it ends up happening when you're down in the red zone, like that is not only are you not getting points, but that's also a major that's crushing to your team when morale wise, while you're in the middle of a game and you're about to get points, you're about to take the lead, and then all of a sudden you throw an interception in the red zone.
Right. And the thing is, though, only time can tell, but it just seems like this team was just being questioned so much that it was kind of like we lost our identity. It was basically like, okay, who are the Eagles? What are they about? Now you're starting to see it, and it's starting to play itself out. They're fighting for each other, and they're trying to figure out what they need to do. But I think what needs to happen is ball security needs to be priority number one, and discipline with the flags and penalties. We had so many penalties in this game, it was ridiculous. Like, if you look at the stats with this, like interception, a fumble, block, punt, and they still hold them to 9 points.
That was huge.
You know what I mean? I mean, 6 points. I correct you. I'm sorry. It was 6 points. So you see the grit, and I definitely want to give a hat tip off to Vic Fangio because he had a great defensive scheme and game plan how to shut down Alvin and yo, Carr. Like last time I seen Carr was in a Raiders uniform and he carved us up when I went to Vegas, and it was so embarrassing to be at that damn game.
Carr looked a little shook.
He did. Right, he's seeing ghosts.
Thanks to Jalen Carter, but Coda's Cove made a comment. He said, I like how Sirianni showed he was lying in his press conference, talking about him overruling Kellen in spots. A lot of these play calls look exactly the same as last year. Also, I hate that we abandoned going under center. We're limiting our play. The runs out of shotgun, the amount of Eagle fans that I talk to talk about the runs out of shotgun. You gotta diversify your runs too, not just your funds, but your runs, Eagles. Like you're tipping your hat sometimes to the formation that you run out of, especially in shotgun. But I think what Saquon, shout out to Amanda for also rocking 26, and I had to rock the 26 again to unjuju and take the vibes off of last week's game. I'm like, I'm wearing the game. I'm wearing this jersey again.
So you went back with it.
Back with the same jersey. It's like we were going to reverse a little curse. But the fact that Saquon can score from anywhere, dude, that is like the weapon that we – and one of my homies is probably giant. He hates our team. He's a Giant fan. We've had this conversation about Saquon Barkley since he's been drafted. I always told him that it was wrong for drafting Saquon because you guys weren't set up for him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, now you guys are set up for him. Now that you have to,
look at our team.
We're built for him. We have an offensive line. He's not the focal point. He can be the focal point, but the fact that he can score from anywhere on the field.
Could you imagine being underneath center and having a fullback, like a lead back to block? Bro, like just a little bit of old school. I'm not saying go full, you know what I mean? Not Al Bundy type Jawn, right? But I'm just saying, like, if you had a little bit of that. I know what drives you crazy is the empty backfield formation. Like, how did you feel?
Bro, every time
I see it, I was like, I know Gail's probably like.
Well, I mean, like I can see if you go empty, right, and you see like a situation where they're playing off, and you can throw a quick screen to Saquon, and then you're tempting someone to tackle him in the open field. Okay, if you see that mismatch there, okay, I get it. Something else I would like to see more middle of the field. Keep pressing there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was something that Prime and I were discussing during the game, or at least I was saying to him, is that like the lack of do you think that it's coaching wise, or do you think that there's Jalen Hurts with these turnovers that are happening that he is avoidant of the middle of the field?
I will say this was the one
I'm seeing open players, man. I'm seeing open Devontae Smith.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. So
absolutely.
What the one across the middle, I think Devontae slipped or he was falling, and that's how Matthews got the interception. But if you look up on the up screen, Jahan Dotson was wide open. He ran a flat out. He was wide open, and it's sometimes to me I feel like Jalen, he forces the ball to his best player because he's like, yo, that's my guy. But it's like, yo, bro, go through your progressions and hit the guy that's open. Trust everybody. You can't just trust Devontae, Dallas. Like sometimes, there's gonna come to a time where you don't like me. It happened this last week. We didn't have Devontae or AJ, so you're gonna have to trust somebody else. Paris Campbell got involved. Jahan Dotson got involved. I mean, he tried to throw the ball to Gainwell, but him and the Gainwell off. That was some of this play calling is just. It's Jekyll and Hyde. It's Jekyll and Hyde, bro.
But
it's good, the bad, the ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think to also answer your question, Evan, I think it's on both sides. I think it's Nick Sirianni and Jalen. I mean, you said it yourself, being there, seeing it. There were opportunities for Jalen to go ahead and hit some of these receivers, and he didn't. He was actually looking the opposite side instead of the side that he needed to be looking at. Going back to that Dotson, I saw that same play. You know what I mean? He was wide open, and I said that to Evan. I said, why was he looking to the left when the man to the right was open? Like, what's going on? Like, it was just boneheaded plays, man. And then, of course, still going to go ahead and question why Nick Sirianni, again, needs to leave that 2022 mentality back in 2022 and focus on what we got going on this year and know that 4th and 1 is not going to be happening as much as it did then. Like, we got to get away from that, man. And we got, like somebody mentioned earlier, man, we got the second best kicker in the league. Utilize him. We signed him. We gave him a new deal for a reason. He's ready. He's always ready. Start using him more.
I don't know. I think that I was even more annoyed about that fake tush push and the fact that it was a fake tush push, because I think that they actually ran it well last game. Like, that was one of the things that I had talked about, is the fact that they ran it successfully the normal way multiple times in the Falcons game. And so I get that you're trying to be creative and you're trying to, add a new wrinkle to it, but it just wasn't the time or place. Go with what, as Jason Kelsey would say, go with the 92% play, man.
My thing is like, obviously it was cute in KC when you ran that fake tush push to was that Swift.
I think it was Gainwell.
I mean, I like the little wrinkles here and there, but when you get cute with Saquon, it just doesn't make sense. The guy's an all-world class athlete. The guy that he hopped in the end zone. Bro, into the stands.
He jumped.
I was like, bro, he just didn't even he took off. That's like he took off before the foul line. when he got in there. I was like, God damn, he's got some hops.
Killer. He was amped up. He's been waiting for that. He was waiting for that play for the longest.
We all knew he was going to break. But we all know that Saquon he's going to break one off. Like look at average per carry, bro. He's like 9.8. That's ridiculous, bro.
It's the best offensive line he's ever been behind.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to break them off a whole lot more here.
I understand that, but I get it. But if you get in the 20, give him the ball. Stop getting cute. Yeah. Stop.
Well, I mean, I think that Bob honestly brought up an interesting point, talking about. Let's see if I can find it. He says that entire first quarter, Sirianni's called all the scripted plays identical to last year, and I'm sitting there thinking about the early part of the game, and I'm thinking about all the things that we're talking about right now. I mean, that's where a lot of the struggles ended up being. And that's also where, let's think about Saquon Barkley for the few games that he's been here in Philadelphia. His first carries of the game have gone backwards. Think about the first game of the year. Think about this past game that just happened. They both went backwards and it got blown up. And is that some predictable designed run that Sirianni is trying to come out the gate with?
I mean, I think scripted plays it shows some kind of tendencies. There's a reason to script some plays, but I just think the
script sucks.
I just think I don't like everyone that will like that play that sucked. That's Sirianni. It'd be funny if it was Kellens and he was like, but
it's possible.
It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I just feel like we've seen so much of Sirianni when you're like, that's a Sirianni play.
But it's a Sirianni play when think about it. It's the first three downs. Pass. That's Nick Sirianni. He does not like to run the ball. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Now Aaron asks, what's the bigger issue, Nick's play calling or Jalen's decision making? I would say it's Nick's play calling. I think obviously Jalen's made some really good throws. I just think in a time when you don't have AJ Brown, you have to realize that the league, the way that the league is going to defend you, Bill Belichick said it best. You bracket Devontae Smith and you use your best cover guy on your wide receiver too. Mm-hmm. And if you know that he's being bracketed, they're waiting for you to throw Devontae Smith. And that's just what it is for now. Like this, you got to get crafty. You have to get crafty moving forward with the play calling. You have to add wrinkles. Jahan Dotson has to have his own set of plays there where you want to utilize his skill set. And I mean, Johnny Wilson, it's just one play. But because Tim, you were with me at the Senior Bowl as we were watching Johnny Wilson so closely, and we wanted to be impressed. And at times he was not as impressive as we wanted to.
Right.
And the fact that he did that in the game, I was proud dad. Not that I'm not his father. He's way bigger than I am. Couldn't be my son. But I'm saying the way that he played on that play, that shows the effort, bro. He wants it. Watching all these other guys step up throughout that game that wanted it, that shit was inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, you hear Fred Johnson's post-game interview. I'm not sure if you guys caught that, but he was sitting there talking about how it's been since 2020 or 2021 since he's had real live game, actual snaps that matter in a regular season game.
Think about that.
And for him to there was points where he thought he was never going to get back in a game. And then he finally got the opportunity and dude did exactly what he needed to do. So, definitely a guy that stepped up. I mean, I gave you guys during the offseason, I'm sitting there talking about, I'm done with the Van Ginkel. He's Van Ginken right now, bro. Zach Bond.
Yo, that's a new one. We're gonna make that shirt. That has to be a shirt, Van Ginken, son.
I mean, again, going back to how well that line did. I mean, damn, Evan, do you remember that we didn't even? It was probably with 3 minutes left. No, I'm sorry, maybe about 6 minutes left in the game, where we forgot Chase Young played for that team.
Yeah,
that's how well they were doing.
I saw the dreads. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot.
Yeah,
they
we
had
were like,
Chase
I
Young.
forgot. Yeah, Evan said that. He was like, I forgot they had Chase Young. That's how irrelevant that dude was that game. Like, okay, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was wild.
Now, Warren asks, he says, do you know why Rodgers is in the doghouse? He beat Mitchell Ringo out in preseason, but Ringo went in when Slay went down.
Look at the corner play right now, man. I mean, who are you taking out? Slay is balling. They're not even throwing Slay's direction. He's absolutely putting the clamps on. And then you got Quinion on the other side, who is young prodigy, man. Like, who are you gonna take out?
I didn't think Mitchell. I thought Mitchell was gonna start from the jump. Like, I think you don't let a rookie come in the camp and be like, "Oh, you're the starter." You put him in the back and make him work his way up.
Yeah,
but I do think Rodgers. I think I'm surprised he's not getting any.
Yeah.
Obviously you love Tay. He's giving you some.
Hey, he's playing good too.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we have depth is impressive. Now
that's the important part. We got depth.
And how about a little shout out for my milk missile, man?
Yo, they got him down as probably one of the best safeties in the league,
right
bro.
Now.
Hey,
2 picks.
Hey,
PFF 89.6.
Hey, Ev, I put him on the graphic.
Every interception looks the same.
Put him on the graphic.
They're all just diving forward, barely caught it, interception. But goddamn it, he gets it.
But he's making it.
He's getting it. He's doing a whole rope. You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, you hear, we talked about Reed in coverage, but he's come up with some big picks.
Yes.
We've mentioned about Reed is the IQ. Mm-hmm. He's in the right place, the right time. He spent how many years? Almost 5 years in Middle Tennessee State, perfecting his craft. I call him the protractor because he's always he's making tackles the right angle. And again, he's just
you want to talk about another story. Like, I mean, we've had guys on this team like Jordan Mailata who didn't even play football and gets drafted just based off of his raw ability. And then you got a guy like Reed Blankenship right now who is a UDFA in Chalk Talk. He's a UDFA, and I mean, I'm saying to Prime during this game, I'm like, not this year. It's already said and done, but the dude is speaking in front of the team. The guy is showing up on game time. If he goes from UDFA to C to a captain on his shirt, I mean, that's an impressive story there, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. I think, man. I mean, I felt like that game was it was much needed. I mean, there's a lot of fans in the comments to a lot of, or sometimes we'll post stuff. There was a lot of people who were like, "Oh, you guys wasted you're wasting money to go on a plane trip. You're wasting it." Like, at what point did Eagle fans of all people? I'm not gonna, because there was a lot of Eagle fans out there who weren't scared to show up to show support. The ones who were like, I don't want to be like on a soapbox or anything, but at what point are you a diehard or you're not? We all have things feelings how we feel about us going to the game, but scared. There's enough players on this team to be competitive. We're not going to show up because someone didn't. AJ's not playing, so we're going to be scared. No.
Yeah.
That's this. We support our team.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I went into this game and I just felt like, we got it. We had it in the bag. My whole confidence this whole weekend going through there. I was there since Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I was in New Orleans since Wednesday, bro. And I was talking shit back. I'm talking shit back. I don't care. I just have, this is my thing. If number one is on my side, I'm good. That's what I'm about. I got Jalen Hurts, him Hurts. I'm good. I don't care. He's tied. Isn't he tied with Nick Foles when it comes to crucial game winning touchdowns and stuff like that? Nah, I'm good.
Well, the thing with Hurts, right? His ability to bounce back after making mistakes. Mm-hmm. like 3rd and 16. Perfect throw on that ball.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was like, when the time you got to make a play, he made a play. You can say, like, well, win is a win. Like I'm taking all the W's, even with turnovers. Remember Josh Allen when he was turning the ball over, interception machine last year? Does anyone like talk about his turnovers? I mean, we hate turnovers. We're going to talk about it, but it's just like, it's definitely interesting. Who is your I know I've just ran off for a second, but who is your offensive MVP? Or is it a game ball to many?
Okay, game ball for me on offense, I would have to go with. I went with Saquon so many times, so this time I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. Like he balled out. That one hand grab. Woo! That was Jalen threw a dot. One hand, left hand too. I'll take that. Like he balled out, man. He balled out. I got to give it to Dallas Goedert.
Bro, I'm giving it to Dallas Goedert and Saquon. You talking about Saquon, 17 attempts, 147 yards, and then Dallas Goedert, like you said, his hands were on fire. That catch was incredible. And then 10 receptions for 170 yards. You said, again, what you mentioned earlier, this is the best game he ever had in his career. Like, this is what we expected this season, and this is what we're getting. I mean, yes, we can't really expect it every single game, but if we do get it, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? But we know what these boys are capable of doing, and they showed it. You know what I mean? They really showed it on Sunday. So, yeah, the game ball goes to both those guys. Regardless if it was we're always talking about Saquon or we're always talking about them, both those boys deserved it because they put that game on their backs and they got us that W.
We were playing musical chairs tonight. If you now, Adrian asked who's going to Tampa. Me and Prime will be going to Tampa. Evans has a big birthday coming up. I'm not gonna let everyone know, but it's October 3rd. So if you see him on social, you let him know.
Yes, I'll be.
Don't ask him for a cheesesteak on his birthday.
The Eagles very kind to me this year. I mean, I'm going to be turning the big 3-0 on October 3rd, and happens to also be the same week as our bye week. So I bypassed on the Tampa trip, and I'm going to be going to Mexico instead over bye week.
Nice. Tim was supposed to be there with us, but he's gonna hopefully be joining us in LA. Don't throw up the gang signs, please.
That's LA.
Dakota says, "What time is your fight?" I'm going Thursday, but the hurricane makes landfall in Tampa Thursday. This is something new because if you know me, I don't check the weather ever. Prime, did you know about this hurricane?
Yeah, I mean, it's been up and down. It got downgraded. That's the latest that I heard. But I mean, hey, we leave it in God's hands. Don't relax. Don't go getting nervous now, yo. You're gonna be all right.
Right. I'm not talking about nerves, whatever. Nerves is steel. I once got stuck in Tampa at my cousin. We went to my cousin's wedding. I got stuck in Tampa for 4 days because the lightning storms were so bad that no flights were taking off. So we had to go back to the airport every day. And they're like, "Oh, you're backed up." So we finally, me and my brother go to get on our plane. And it looks like a Star Wars light show out there. And they're like, "Yeah, your plane's here. You got to get on it." I'm like, "What? We're going to take off in this?" It's like, it was like, I've been pretty scared of planes, but I mean, that was probably the most scared I've ever been.
Not about the planes, but I wanted to, before I forgot about it, just talk about the stadium itself of the Caesars Superdome. I thought that was definitely one of the more interesting stadiums I had ever been in.
Heaven. We were in heaven.
We were, but like there was a second heaven. You look up and like there was like the ceiling's still way, 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 way up there, man. It's an enormous building. And I thought like one of the cooler dynamics of it is the fact that like, okay, we were all morning long. We had a tailgate until 11 o'clock in the morning. Since it's Central Time out there, game starts at noon. And so we walked in at noon at sun's all the way high in the sky. and you walk into a dome and it's dark and it's like a stage. Like the lighting is just on the field and it literally looks like a stage. And it was just I don't know, dude. I enjoyed it. I thought it was I don't know if I would want that for my stadium, but as to take in a football game that way was different. I thought it was cool. Don't get any
ideas
in front of me.
Don't get any more ideas.
Don't
get no more ideas. We're not bringing that to Philly.
I'm saying it was a cool stadium. I enjoyed it.
I'm gonna be honest. That stadium was impressive.
Yeah,
like because the only thing I remember back in the day when they had Hurricane Katrina and they were put that stadium was the way it was designed. I just was telling people, I was like, yo, Eagles need a new stadium. They need to fit more people in the stadium.
Yeah, that place was so loud, dude.
They need more people. We could fit in another 30,000 people.
It was a pain in the ass to get out of that place. It bottlenecked everywhere you went.
I don't know, bro. I thought we got out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
No,
I thought we got out of there pretty quick. I mean, like
from the 600 level, it wasn't that bad, man.
Yeah,
I was in the 600 level too.
I found my spot. I found that bench, and I was like, "This is where I'm going to talk shit at, and this is where I'm staying."
Heather says, "Yeah, we need a new graphic. Run Eagles run. We actually have sweatshirts.
Kick Eagles kick.
Run Eagles run.
Is that going to be on tomato pie?
Kick Eagles kick. Yeah. Imagine. I mean, Jake is all that in a bag of chips. He's good at everything. Yeah. The fact that you had to the whole game. I was like, the Eagles are the only team that ices their own kicker. I don't know anyone else who does that.
That sounds wild.
It's insane, man.
I thought he was hurt. I was like, is Jake hurt? Because they did this last week and this week. Is there something like they're not telling us? No, it's just Nick Sirianni going for it for him, 4th and 3rd and 4th and 1 and 4. It's
on some dumb shit, yeah.
For real, bro. Yeah, man. Take the points.
Now, before we get out of here, I had a brain fart. But before we get out of here, I want to give a big shout out to all the people in the comments, but also just for the people that support the tailgate. If you've been to the tailgate, it's going to be a minute. The next tailgate is the Cleveland Browns tailgate. But shout out to Bud Light for holding us down with all the studs. Shout out to Red Bull for giving the tailgate wings per usual. But also Concha Hawk and Italian Bakery for all the lovely tomato pies that we've had over the years. And like we said, we're going to kick Eagles kick could be, or just have Jake Elliott on the pie that says special teams people are people too. Shout out to DJ Lowski for bringing the entertainment. Shout out to Crafty Jawn for the ultimate chunky chains, bro. If you weren't walking around the Bourbon Street, you wouldn't have saw it. Yeah, if you weren't on Bourbon Street and you didn't see all the chains that were. The custom chains, there's so many chains that he's made for people out there. The Dallas Sucks chains, which you see Nady rocking. I love that. I love that chain because now it's become like a Nady thing. So I can always just and we're still getting hate mail and DMs, usually on our Facebook account, threatening us for our Dallas Sucks video with Nady in it. People are whining. Why are you whining? If you're going to whine about your graphics, then hit up Jesse Wines at Jesse_Wines for graphic needs. But if going into this next week, what is your biggest concern going into next week?
I mean, it's the lack of receiver depth right now. I mean, if we're sitting here looking at if AJ isn't back, do you think that it's a possibility they rush AJ back if Devontae can't play? Because, I mean, there's a lot of thought in there that, you let AJ just have the bye week too, just to fully make sure that hamstring is good to go. But are we going to go into this game with Jahan Dotson, wide receiver 1? That would be, if that's the case, that's what I'm most concerned about.
Mark Ware chimes in, says turnovers and penalties are very concerning. Can't expect to continue to win doing that. What about you, Prime?
Discipline. The fact again, like Evan just mentioned, the wide receiver depth. Yeah, Dotson's going to be that next man up mentality. He's going to be that number one receiver. And then you got Goddard and Saquon hoping to go ahead and fill in that gap just as well. But I mean, again, shout out to the defense for holding it down against these Saints. We just need it again this weekend. And the shit talking's already started. They already got billboards up in Tampa Bay talking about Philly's coming back for some more. Oh, we coming back, but it ain't for some more. We're coming back to go ahead and redeem ourselves from that shit last year. So, looking forward to being in Tampa Bay and represent like we always do and bringing the noise.
Tim texted me photos of Prime drinking Bud Light.
Hey, man. Hey. Represent, bringing the brand.
You see that Bud Light?
See that Bud Light? Your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? Your boy got that down.
Bud Light reached out today. They were
was that Prime drinking that?
Yeah. What are your biggest concerns, Tim?
My biggest concern is his injuries. Yo, Nick, I need you to get out of the way, man. Let Kellen Moore do what he's supposed to do. He's the offense coordinator. And limit the mistakes. Limit the mistakes. That's like the biggest thing for me. Because Tampa just got beat. They got embarrassed by the Broncos this past weekend. So, they're gonna be, they're gonna be full of, and gas and ready to go. So, that's probably my only concerns.
My biggest concern is just really where's this team at? Obviously I wanted a gut check. I got the gut check last week, but you're missing players. Some of these players it's a next man up mentality. I think we saw that from a couple of them. Not having Lane Johnson, we know what our record is. I think Fred Johnson. You don't ever want to replace your own Johnson, but when you have a Fred Johnson, it's not a bad backup option. I think we got Johnson and Johnson at right tackle. You got to feel. You got to feel good about it. What are you talking about?
Come on, son.
Come on, man. Fred Johnson is legit.
No, he is. I agree with you, Gil. I agree with you. He stepped up.
No, I agree with you.
But I'm saying, and all these backups that got opportunities to shine, make a play, they did. But who's going to do that?
Bob from Down Under talking about Todd Bowles, man. I will agree with Bob on this one. Todd Bowles tends to have our number.
He does.
It's gonna be, dude. Listen to me right now. If we're doing the same bullshit with the field goals this week, I'm kind of the I don't care even if we win. Like I'm still pissed at Sirianni, man. Like this is it's out of control. You need to just take the points. The thing that bothers me the most is the arrogance of it. Like in the first drive, when you don't know how you're going to move the ball down the field the entire game. You don't know the next time you're going to be in the red zone. And when you can either tie the game or take the lead, do it. This is all. You don't know what the outcome is going to be in the fourth quarter. You don't know what the situation is going to be. So build up as many points as a foundation as you can. I don't know. It couldn't be more fundamental in the game. Like that's the most disappointing part. And I'm going to be real. Like the second time it happened in that game, it almost felt like I know it's not what he's trying to do. I know he's trying to win the game. It feels like an FU to the fans of just like, no, I'm smarter than you. This is what I'm going to do. And then he's got egg on his face. And we're all sitting there like, okay, so what was that about, bro? It's frustrating, man. So I just want to see better decision-making out of Sirianni. It's going to be Sirianni versus Bowles. Bring your A game, man.
Yep.
I keep seeing that, they show the zero and they bring everyone up to show the blitz, and you see guys bailing. Everyone is using the same thing that like Bowles did, or it's just like it's like cutting. It's been cut and paste for like the couple opportunities where we saw I saw Devontae uncovered at one point. I think who was it? Dotson uncovered at one point. If my eyes were failing me, let me know. But sometimes I'm like the hot route's got to be quicker, or just where's the just I don't know. I'm like, obviously I think Kenny Gainwell had missed on one of the blocks. They made a decision on that, but like every week in and week out, do the Eagles have the answer for the blitz? I'm always wondering, is it something? Because it goes back to what Brian Baldinger was telling me. He's like, what he said to me in Brazil is exactly what every single team is doing every week. And it's been only 3 weeks. I mean, for this year, but every team is doing exactly that. What he spoke to me about, and I'm like, all right, well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And there's been some turnovers. It's gonna get better. I hope. And that's I would say that would be my other last concern. But well, once again, I want to shout out everyone in the comments. Shout out to Jacob Walker. We didn't get to meet you down there in your city. I would love to have hung out with you down there. But thanks to everyone in the comments. There's so many comments in there that it's been hard to get to everybody. Shout out to Tim. We also ran into Tim, his lovely wife, Emily down there. It's crazy. Everybody was down there. How many people? Warren was down there.
Yeah, it was like a family reunion, man.
Robert Williams was down there. Oh man, like him and his lovely wife. Like it was everybody.
And then having that one party on like the second floor where we had the balcony access over top of Bourbon, like that's a cool time, just hanging out and just dude. I love people watching. I'm a people watcher. I love sitting up on Bourbon Street and just with a drink and just watching all the craziness below you. It's a fun time. I was looking for Prime's earbud the entire time. My binoculars.
Oh, speaking of shout out to Heinous. He says Hurts got the job done, keeping the main thing. The winning is the main thing. Always and always it is. But usually before we get out, we do a little hot take. Do a hot take. We have a visitor. But hot takes are always appreciated on the show. Wow. We're going to end it with some hot takes. Jacob started it off. He says Popeyes is overrated. Is his take that he had to get off his chest, calling it a dry ass biscuit. That's we'll never get any Popeyes sponsors.
I mess with Popeyes. I got a hot take, honestly. So it's something that I've been thinking about. I think I really came to the conclusion at the end of this trip, and I'm not going to blow up my man's spot at all. But if you know him, you know. I think when it's a couple decades down the road here, there needs to be a movie made about the life of Chris Nady. This man lives an insane life.
He does.
And I love him to death. But that man, what he gets himself into, there needs to be a movie. Just start writing the script, Chris.
Facts. That's facts.
Hot take.
Hot take. I don't know. I don't have a hot take this week, fellas. So,
come on, you gotta have a hot take.
I don't have one. I don't have one this week.
I know you do, man. Something about New Orleans.
Hand grenades are overrated.
See, there you go.
Hand grenades.
Yeah, hand grenades are overrated.
They had hand grenades down there. I missed out on that. They're selling them at 7-Eleven.
I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about.
I knew they had more lax weapon laws down there. Grenades.
So hand grenades, it's basically a sugary drink. It's it got me it got me 2 days in a row, and I stopped. So, but hand grenades are overrated. Yeah. If you're from New Orleans, you know. You know what I mean. Go listen to "Pimping All Over the World" by Ludacris.
But what about you, Prime? You have a.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, my hot take would be like, what the hell is going on with Devon White? What is up? What are they holding back? What are they not talking about? Like, why is he not playing? Like, just give me some type of scoop. Like this. That, I mean, we've been talking about Devin White. We've been blowing him up, and then we haven't seen him like that. Like, what's going on? I mean, not taking nothing away from Braun or Dean, but still, like, just trying to figure out what's going on. Somebody mentioned, like, is he the Penny this year? Is he the Rashad Penny this year? Like, did we sign it? Did we waste it? Did we waste it? You know what I mean? Like, what's up? That's my hot take.
Speaking of waste, talk about what's Bryce Huff been up to, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think we should come up with another T-shirt. What the Huff?
The Huff is this.
What the Huff is going on here?
Golly, he's terrible, bro.
I'm like, he was brought here to be somebody that they thought was going to be that guy. So you took a rotational edge player and brought him here to be that guy. So someone thought he was that guy. So now he's the whole city of Philadelphia. Grandmothers, cousins, your uncles and aunties are all putting their pressure on that guy. And it's a rough scene. But again, if the Georgia Dogs listened, they brought their A-King. Can Huff be enough in Tampa? My hot take before we get out of here. Hot take. I think the South, their seasoning is elite.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take. That's not a hot take.
It's elite.
It's not a hot take.
How is that not hot?
It's
not
just
a hot
take.
Oh,
I mean,
here's a hot
everybody
take.
knows that the Creole seasoning.
What is that?
Go drink some tea.
I'm gonna make sure my voice is like this all the time, so you get this version.
Yeah, fact.
No, I'm saying South. I mean, they don't have these spices up north. Where do you know? Can you name off the top of your head where you can get seasoned food like that?
No, you're right in the fact that everything is much more seasoned for sure.
Popeyes.
Come on, man. Why is that?
I don't know. Tastes great. I love it.
Y'all came back with Louisiana hot sauce. I came back with the slap your mama hot sauce.
Yeah, I saw.
That's what I said, man. I came back with the Jalen hot sauce.
Louisiana. Okay. Louisiana. Yeah, man. I think we'll try to figure out.
I mean, you could have even said you got the hot sauce there. You could have even said that hot sauce on potatoes is good. That's what you were eating at the table.
Yeah, you put me onto that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yo, Gail loves potatoes and corn. He eats like a leprechaun or something.
Man,
I tore them potatoes.
Got a little Irish in him, man.
Oh yeah, you probably do.
Yeah, man. The seasoning again is elite. I have to say it again. Seasoning is elite. Why is it not elite in the north?
I mean, there's good restaurants in the north.
I don't know, bro.
Not all over.
We got good food back home. What you talking about?
Not seasoned. Like I was eating food down there. I felt like I was eating like my grandmother's cooking.
Watch your mouth, man. There's plenty of seasoned food around here.
All right, I don't know what you're talking about.
Not like that.
You're saying I'm not seasoning my steaks, bro?
Yeah.
Oh, I am so glad.
And anybody in my family right now listening to this and hearing you say they ain't seasoning the food. Yeah, you might want to watch what you say, bro.
Hey, I got Filipino fam and black fam out here. Okay,
Irish too.
Our shit is seasoned, but it's not like that. That Creole stuff. I don't know what it is.
And that's your problem. I don't know what to tell you.
Right, because shout out to my aunt Jawn and my cousin Camille.
Yo,
everybody back from Jersey and Philly.
Spanish beans and rice don't take their beans and rice. Look at Brian. He's ready to hook off. He's like, yo, don't talk about my culture and our beans and rice. Their beans and rice is different.
He's Puerto Rican. You better watch your mouth.
Yeah, watch your mouth. Yeah. I'm gonna see you in a couple of days. All right.
You better not sleep on that plane.
All right. Last take. We'll start with you, Tim. Last take before we get out of here.
Last
word.
Yeah, last word. New Orleans, thank you for the Southern hospitality. After we won, I know y'all wanted us out of your city. one thing is for sure though, man. Yo, Philly fans, yo, keep on supporting this team. They're fighting for each other. They are here for each other. They understand it, man. They understand us. You know what I'm saying? Because they know if they don't win or we don't like something that they don't do, they're gonna hear it from us. So keep on supporting, man. Stay on this shit, all right?
Primo.
Hey man, we're back at it in a couple of days. Looking forward to, repping in Tampa like, we do. And, hopefully everything's going to go well. We're going to leave it in their hands to go ahead and play their asses off. And, we're going to be their reppers. So anybody that's going to be joining us, safe travels. We'll see you guys in Tampa. And, let's go. Go Birds.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to be real. So happy that we're 2-1, could be 3-0. Sirianni, you keep messing with my points. You keep messing with my cheddar. We're building the Hell in the Cell in G-Lot, and we're locking your ass in there, bro. That's what's gonna happen. We got 5 minutes playtime. Sirianni, kick the ball, bro. You're driving me crazy. Take the points.
Take the points. Take the points could be also a T-shirt. Yeah. There's so many takes here.
He's getting mankinded.
Shout out to Comrade. He's headed to Tampa. So that means Comrade is hanging out with me and Prime.
Hey,
let's go.
Shout out to the homie Pierre in Tampa. Said he's going to take us out on a boat. Evan, and Tim, you're missing out. So we're gonna somehow
hold it down for us.
I'm gonna be sipping on them Miami Vices in a couple weeks from some palm trees.
Hey,
slight flex. First, I want to shout out everyone in the comments, everyone who commented and joined in the conversation. We always appreciate you guys. Appreciate all you people that we met on the road who listen to the show and support the show. It's always humbling to meet people in most random spots or random cities, and someone come up and tell you they appreciate the content you guys make. And we love that what you guys are doing. That's like the biggest compliment you can give us, because we know we're reaching the right people who are diehards and love to talk about the Birds. It's cool to actually meet those kind of people and actually see them in a stadium who scream their heads off for a football team. It's hard to explain. You have to see it to believe it. You have to see the looks on the faces of other fans out there who can't believe that you actually like this team as much as you do. That's the crazy part when you see that, because they're like, we're not that crazy. But yes, we are crazy. We love this football team, and we'll keep supporting to the day we die. So shout out to y'all in the comments, and shout out to y'all on the road to victory out there. As always, it's fly. Eagles fly. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Go after
All good.